being so awkwardly looking at the camera.
Let's look at her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be about MEXT again. So we have two scholars with us, MEXT University recommendation and Embassy recommendation, and we'll be getting to know more about how to apply for MEXT and their stories basically, so that you guys can have more idea how to apply, what you should do, what you should not do. So before we start the video, I think I would like both of the scholar to introduce themselves one by one, and then we can go forward with the MEXT discussion, and I can ask few questions from your comments so that we can have more perspective on that. So maybe Helen can introduce herself first.
Hello, my name is Helen, and I am a MEXT scholar at this university in Japan, International University of Japan, and I am basically embassy track. And yeah, that's how I got my MEXT, and we'll talk about it more. Jay, please.
So hi, my name is Joanne, but they call me Jay. I got in through the MEXT scholarship, university recommendation. Yeah, I also study international relations at International University of Japan. So nice to meet you all.
So yeah, we share the same course, by the way. So you guys will be getting more information on international relations. My first question from both of you is, could you share about your story from Uganda to Japan and from Nigeria to Japan? How did you started? Why did you want to pursue for MEXT, and why international relations? And have you ever had experience of writing a paper before, or have you ever published something before? If yes, how did you do it? So basically your story from Uganda to Japan and Nigeria to Japan.
I think we should start with Jay.
Okay. So it's actually a very long story, but well, it was my first time applying for MEXT scholarship. But I have been preparing for a very long time, because things like this, you don't just jump into it. Of course, there are people who jump into it and get it, but there are people who need to prepare for it very well. So how did I even get it? How did I know about it? It was also through YouTube. So you see why YouTube is important, so you should follow diligently. Yeah. So I was following a lady on YouTube who was talking a lot about MEXT scholarship. She is from my country. And then I was still in my undergrad, I think my third year, and I was like, okay, this looks promising, I am going to prepare for it. So I started preparing, and it takes a lot of, that was when I really realized how much effort it takes to get in a scholarship. Because when you get scholarship, you think, oh, okay, it's a free thing, but there is no free ride, because you have to really prepare for things. You have to make sure your grades are nice. You have to make sure if you are doing a school project, you're doing it nicely. And also you need to have some kind of leadership experiences, or just something. You have to do something to make your application very strong, especially if you do not, maybe you're not that confident in your academics. Let's say, for example, you don't have published papers, because you are going to be competing with people who have published papers. So it means you have to be strong in other aspects. So is it your essay? You have to write very good essay, not ChatGPT essay, an essay that's really reflects you, who you are. Because when you send in your application, they basically they can know other minor things when they look at your application. Okay, this person, the grades are good. Okay, this person did this. But personal statement is where you have to sell yourself. They need to know the kind of person you are. They can tell your personality simply by reading your personal statement, whether you're an introvert, extrovert, realist, liberalist, whatever. So you have to really take your time to do that. You have to do some kind of things in your school. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to this school, I just want to graduate and leave this useless school. No, you have to really do something, be really impactful. Yeah. So I had to do all these things, because I saw it from I still had 1 year in school. So it means I had to do a lot of things. I had to be close with my professors, because they are going to give me recommendation letters. Yeah. So there are a lot of things. So you have to be strategic. So yeah. So basically, getting scholarship means you really need to be intentional and strategic. And that was what I was able to do. And thankfully, I got it my first trial. So yeah.
That was cool. So that was very good. You want to say something about it?
Yeah, actually, Jay was actually an exceptional student. She got it in her first try, and here I was trying my best and got it in the third trial. So, yeah, whatever advice she has given you guys, please try to follow that. And yeah, do focus on your academics and also your leadership qualities. Yeah, I think we should hear more from Helen's side of the story and get to know more.
Oh, thank you, Shelly Singh. So basically, one thing I know is that if you want a scholarship, you have to be intentional about it. It's not a one-day thing that someone's going to send you a link and everything is well suited and you just apply and send and that's it. No. Usually when I talk to my friends or people trying to apply, I tell them be intentional and try to follow up and make sure to read through, be like on point. You have to know that this is what I want. So I need to, and you have to bear in mind that you're competing with more than 1,000 people. For my case, I'm embassy track, and I was in the university by the time I applied. I was doing my first master's. But one thing for sure I know is that you need to be aware of what exactly you're applying for. So when I realized that I wanted to apply for MEXT, I became intentional. And one thing for sure, I started engaging in projects which were related with my country, Uganda, Japan. So that because I'm doing IR, international relations, so I started off before applying for MEXT. And I started engaging with JICA chair meetings, JICA projects with collaboration with my university. So by the time I started applied for MEXT, I already knew exactly what I was doing. And because I'm embassy track, many people in my country also apply from science courses and different fields, engineering, medicine, and here is me, IR. But what distinguishes you is how prepared you are, because we go through different interviews and physical interviews at the embassy and written interviews. So we apply, we wait, and you have to go back for a second interview, the first interview, and you have to write exams, English and Japanese. But you don't have to worry about the Japanese exam because it's just a formality. So they know you don't know Japanese. So it's just a formality, but you have to do it anyway. So you have to focus on the English exam because it's more like TOEIC. So you have to prepare for that English exam. When you're done with that English exam, expect another interview, which they'll ask you, a panel of professors or experts about IR who will ask you about your scholarship. Why do you want this scholarship? Why this IR? Why the university? Why? So you have to be well acquainted with all these things. So because I did research, I was researching before. I was engaging in the Japanese-Uganda relations. I knew how to answer these questions. They ask you what Japan is doing for your country, what projects are they involved in. If you don't know, that means you won't have any leverage to get this scholarship. So after all those interviews, that's when they give you results if you pass through or not. So by the grace of God, I passed through and I joined International University of Japan, and I was interested in IR, and they gave me exactly that. And the beauty is they let you do whatever you want. If that's the course you want, that's the course you'll take. And all of us, I believe we're all enjoying our course, right? Because we chose IR, so I think it's good. So basically, you need to prepare regardless and be intentional about it. Yeah.
I saw Jay nodding her head in what Helen said. So what are the things that you agree with Helen? And you said, oh, I should have said that.
So actually, I agreed with a lot of things, especially when she said reading through, because a lot of people are actually very lazy, They don't want to read. Yes. So they just see it, a scholarship. They just want to go to apply and start applying. It doesn't work that way. You have to read. One other thing about, it should be in a way that when they see your application, they know that, okay, this person really knows what they are doing. They know about this school. For example, when I write personal statements, and when I was writing my personal statements for IUJ, I look at all the curriculum. Like, I looked at it, and I was like, okay, these classes, they are nice. This is going to help me for whether it's my future or this. And so when I was writing my personal statement, I wrote there that, okay, I'm drawn to these courses that have been taken in these classes by these professors, and I would like to work with this professor. So those were all in my personal statements. So when they say it, I know that, okay, this person really knows what they want. And the professor that I wrote there I wanted to work with was like the supervisor that they assigned me to, because right from the start, it has been in my application that this was the person I wanted to work with. So they know that, okay, this person is really serious about it. But so when you do not read the application, you just go, you say, oh, when I was a child, I used to watch anime and I love Japan so much. Bro, nobody's gonna give you admission. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You won't get that, because every time they open, they just say, when I was a child, or when I was a child, I saw people dying a lot and I want to be a doctor. Nah, no. You won't be that doctor in Japan. I'm sorry. So you have to be passionate about what you're doing. Everybody, okay, they want to come to Japan, they watch anime, that is not what they are looking for. If they are looking for people to watch anime, they will send it to your countries. Just, what do you want to do? How do you want to better your life, your country, and how can it in the future reflect in Japan that, okay, this person graduated from this place, was able to develop these skills, whether they are using it in Japan or using it in their countries or abroad. It's a thing of joy. So Japan likes to invest in education, and they have to be sure. So, and also, don't just apply because, oh, I want to leave my country, so I will take anything they give me. I will take it. You want to apply for anything, you are not passionate about it, you are going to get very frustrated. So you have to do something that you like, and just think about it. Can I study this for 2 years? Can I do a research in this for 2 years? Just think, it should be something that you really like, that you can do, that you're passionate about. Because when I was looking through classes and when I first saw international development, I even wrote international development, that was what I wanted to do in IUJ, until I started reading through everything, and I was seeing, oh, you're going to do quantitative this, you're going to do calculation this, I'm like, sorry. Sumimasen. I want to change it back to IR. I emailed the school immediately. I'm sorry, I just finished reading it. I'm going for IR, not this. So imagine I just did that and I came here. It would have been very frustrating for me. I would have been like, what was I thinking? Who gave me that kind of advice? Things like that. So you have to really be sure that this is what you want to do. Some people just say, oh, I'm applying to IUJ. I want to be the best doctor in the world. Bro, we don't have a course for doctors here. So, but what are you reading? so those are the things. You have to just really focus. Take your time. If it's one day. What I did, I printed out the materials, the GSIRO thing. I printed everything out. I did not want to use my phone. I had a pen and paper. I was circling every relevant thing. You put it there so that you are seeing it. Print it out and go through it. Your phone, you will get distracted. Even the screen time is not really good for you. Print it out, go through it one by one. Okay, this. Look for a supervisor. Okay, this supervisor might like it, will take me, and write a good research proposal. Don't just write something that is not feasible and you'll be like, okay, I want to talk about conflict. I'm going to interview Trump, and then I'm going to go to Iran and interview, and I want to interview North Korean president. No, that is not realistic. They will not take you. You have to have a proposal that is realistic and feasible, and you know that in 2 years you can do this. If you want to do a survey in your countries, you'll be like, okay, I will go to my country and do the survey. Or you will say you can have people there do it. Just something. It has to be realistic. When they see this, be like, okay, this person knows what they are doing, and narrow it down. Don't say, oh, I want to talk about ASEAN's importance in the world. ASEAN is so broad. Importance is so broad. Everything is ambiguous. You don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. So you have to narrow it down. Be particular. Okay, I want to talk about Japan. Okay, what about Japan? Okay, I want to talk about JICA. Okay, what about JICA? Where is JICA focusing on? Okay, I want to talk about maybe okay, ODA. ODA, what kind of ODA? Where? You have to be particular. This, don't just say, oh, I want to talk about ASEAN in Africa. Oh my god. That's why it's also good to have a good rapport with your professors, your supervisors. If you are currently in the the undergrad or maybe masters, you want to go for PhD, it's good to really have close people. Or even if you are at work, you are working now and you have supervisors, it's good to have a like close relationship with them, because you know that okay, you are going to need recommendation later from them, and some of the recommendation later you will not see it. So you will just put their email and the schools will send the link to them. So you don't know what they are going to write. You don't know. Maybe you have not been getting scholarship because of what the professor is writing. Yeah. You don't know.
You did everything.
Yeah, because you might be so good and you're like, okay, I'm going to get this, and then your professor, you're like, oh, I know that boy. That is a very useless boy, and you won't get it. You won't know why. But professors, see what? Let me tell you, whatever your recommender says, it is final. If you like, graduate from Harvard or whatever, if your recommender, because in your own part you trust this person to write something nice for you, and then they write something for you, and then the thing is like, oh, that boy is a useless boy, and it's over for you. So you have to have a good rapport with them. So in case you have insulted your supervisor, you've quarreled, just go beg, say sorry. You were probably not in your right mind. You had mental health issues. You just have to look for a way, because your life is like in your hands. Yeah, your life is in your hands. So that is why it's good for people that are currently studying, because you have time. If I had not like knew this opportunity, maybe I got to know about it after university, it would have been very hard for me, because I'm a very introverted person.
You're making trouble.
No, but I did not like to contribute in class. I don't like my professors to like, so sometimes I know the answers to things. I don't just raise my hand to answer, because I was always low-key sitting in the back and everything. But I was thinking about it, bro. I would need a recommendation later in my life. Who do I make? So what I did, I started like, when I even came out, I wanted to be vice president of my national association in my school. They were like, who are you? But then I had to like push for it and stuff like that. And since I've been like helping tutor around and stuff, so yes, I was able to get votes. So because of that, I got like, okay, in a open place, like in the spotlight in my department. So I was meeting my head of department. Yeah, so we just talk, oh, this is what's happening in the department. And then I also had my course advisor, whom I was also like close to, and so I had those two people. So when I needed this, I just met my head of department. Sir, I might need a recommendation letter from you in the future. And it was like, okay, and that was it. And he was the head of the department. So then I met the dean also. So when I was leaving school, I had like 5 letters from 5 professors. And I'm like, what do I do with all this? And I asked IUJ, do you want ad copy? They were like, yes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to send you too.
Here is interesting that you need to have a good reputation in school, but not just buttering professor or, going back to them and then they're like, oh, professor, you're so nice. I've made food for you. Not that. That doesn't work. If you're thinking that I'll just go butter professor, lick their boots, it doesn't work that way. Make yourself academically strong. Write and try. I was a person who had no experiences in writing, and I think I'm still learning, but I was never a person who will go to the professor and try to butter them that, oh, I want something like that. So what she meant over there is like, you have to make yourself academically strong, so that professor sees you that, oh, this person is a potential to do something better in their life, because they're not gonna give you recommendation even if you wash their clothes. So yeah, develop your writing skills. And I think we just had a small funny conversation over here, which I just cut the part, and I think Helen has to say something.
I think another thing is you have to engage in projects related to your course. If you're interested in something, you have to engage in projects. There are some scholarships where maybe you're working and through your company you get those kind of scholarships, but right now we are talking about MEXT scholarship. For MEXT scholarship, you need at least to align yourself in projects which also draw you closer to this scholarship. For my case, I got involved in very many different projects with my university and my workspace. So you need to involve so much in those projects. Just always just say it. You don't, or surely that you don't just get there so that the bootleg professors. It's more of getting engaged in things, productive projects, so that they can notice you and they be like, okay, she has potential. You need to write papers. It doesn't mean you're going to publish immediately, but you should show effort that you're doing something, not pretense, but you're actually doing something. They are all people. They experience. They know if you're faking something or not. But if you seriously engage in things, you're trying to write papers. By the time I came here, I had written a few papers about the Uganda-Japan, and I realized that I want to go to Japan. Actually, I love what I'm doing. So professors can notice out of the class, they can still see that, okay, out of these 10 students, these 2 are promising. So I think you should be intentional, do projects which realign with your interest. And by the time you apply, because you have to also send your CV, right? They need to, sometimes you have to show those, what, in the motivation letter, cover letter, motivation letter, personal statement, you need to show how intentional you are.
You need to put yourself 100% out there, like what you have done from child to right now, but what is more potentially acceptable in this application. So you need to put yourself 100% over there. So I think, yeah.
For example, during my interview, they asked me one question that, what has Japan done for Uganda? It looks broad, right? But if you don't know, because many countries have done something for Uganda, for Nigeria, for India, but they asked me, what has Japan done for Uganda? If I didn't know, I would start saying weird things, But it looks like a simple question, but they expect you to exhibit a maximum knowledge of Japan-Uganda relations, because you're applying for this course. You need to be intentional. Thank you.
I think this video is gonna be very long for the people to watch, and if you are able to watch this video for the whole time, you will learn a lot from this video. And my 2 scholars have talked very genuinely that you should do and you shouldn't be doing the things if you are applying for the MEXT. So part 2 is probably gonna be, we will be talking about how to apply for other countries and how you can make your application strong, even though you have learned a lot from this video, but still we'll be having part 2. And since we have Jay, who has already achieved 3 of the scholarship in 3 countries, and she also went to Switzerland for her St. Gallen's for her essay publication. So I think this would be nice for you to learn from these scholars raw, not having any, basically not gatekeeping the secret. I think we are good for the part 2, and we'll see you in the next video if you are interested to know more about your academics and maybe career advice. Yeah, so mata ne. Hi. Bye bye.